Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Terry and this is the Yarnjoy podcast, episode number 20. Today I have some finished objects and some works in progress and some upcoming projects I was going to talk about just a little bit. So let's get started. Today with my finished objects I have a if you watched in my last episode, I showed a little miniature cheeseburger that I made into a keychain. Here it is. Well, I'm kind of getting on a crocheted food kick, I guess, because I also did the s'more. I did that a few weeks ago. Well, so this week I did a miniature donut, a little powdered donut, no, not powdered, icing with sprinkles. And I'm going to attach the keychain type clip to it. I think that's what I'm going to do with this one, just like I did the hamburger. And then I'm also made a little cup of hot chocolate. See, it's even got a little marshmallow up in the top. Thought that turned out really cute. Both of these were YouTube tutorials. In fact, the cheeseburger one I did last week also was. The tutorial I followed for the donut was from Happy Berry Crochet on YouTube. And then the hot chocolate cup was, I didn't write it down. I believe it was World of Amigurumi. I believe that's the name of it. I will have a link in the description box of all of these tutorials and the patterns that I talk about today. Okay, so I did those, and if you've been following my videos, which I hope you have, I've been working on some preemie hats for the last several weeks for a charity hat drive for a area hospital NICU for Halloween. And so I finished up those. I made 2 more this week, but I met the lady that was collecting the hats. I met her this morning and I handed my contribution over to her. So I don't have the 2 that I made that you haven't seen, but I do have pictures, so I can show you pictures of them. Okay, so here's the first set, and I guess you recognize all the ones I did, except right there in the corner, in the top there, I did a little fox hat, baby fox hat. I think you can see that. And then I did, well, let's see, can I zoom it? Oh yeah, I can. Huh. Okay, there you go. I zoomed it up so you can see it a little better. And then I also made, so I made that one, and then I made a giraffe hat right there. Now that thing at the bottom is Winnie the Pooh's ears, as you can see, because here's the collection of the other ones that I turned in. That one on the bottom side here in the corner, that is the raccoon hat that I made, and it's showing up blue in the picture, looks to me like, but it is actually, if you remember, it was shades of gray. Okay, so anyway, I did the giraffe hat up there in the center top. So that was the 2 that I did for this past week. Oh, and speaking of these pictures, I am on Instagram, and I've been a little bit better about posting some more of my most recent pictures. And you can find me on Instagram at Yarnjoy undercast, right? Yeah. No, sorry, underscore, the bottom line. Yarnjoy underscore podcast. Yeah. And some of these, if you can't get a good look at them, I will have the pictures up on Instagram, so you can pop over there and follow me and look at my pictures and get close-ups of some of these projects. Okay, so next for my finished objects, what else did I do? Oh, I'm sorry, the giraffe hat that I made, that one was from Repeat Crafter Me, one of her designs. And the fox hat, the baby fox hat, was from a website called breezybot.blogspot.com. Yes. Okay. So now I'm still working on my 365 days of Granny Squares project over with my Facebook friends at Stitch Your Library. That's the Facebook group. And so this week I only did 4 squares. I did number 19 through 22. So here they are. Here's number 19. And then number 20. And then number 21, I think this one turned out really cute. And then number 22. It's a little bit wonky. When I block it, it will straighten out. I mean, when I border it and get it into the blanket, I think it'll flatten out well. Okay, so that was my newest squares, and so that will transition me into my works in progress, because I have been joining these squares together, and so I have using the join as you go method, and I have 2 rows completed and joined together. What I did is I bordered them in black each row, and then I joined them together with the, I believe it's called the flat braid join method. So I've got 2 rows. I'm doing them 7 across, so that makes 14 right there together. Okay. I think the black is really setting off the colors really well. So there's those. I'll step back and see if you can, oh, there they are. So now I'm on, I just finished, like I said, square number 22, so I do have 1 more row that I'll be completing, connecting to this. That would make the 21, and then I've got 1 starting the following row. I think it's going to be squares 1 through 35, I believe. That would give me 7 squares by 5 squares, and that might be sufficient without having to go another one, which would be 7 by 6, which would be 42 squares, before I close out this project and call it a complete blanket. And then I will continue on. What my plan is once I get enough to make this blanket, then I will pick some different colors to do a different color scheme to start and continue on the next squares to make the next blanket. So I'll just continue on doing that as I'm going through my 365. Okay, so there's that work in progress. Oh, and these squares, they are YouTube tutorials by Yarn Utopia, Nadia at Yarn Utopia. And she did this in last year, 2016, and she released a video each day demonstrating how to make these squares, and so we're following these tutorials and making our squares. Just no stress, you know, no deadline to finish them. Just whatever speed you want to work at is cool. So if anybody wants to join us and jump on the bandwagon and to do these, I intend on, after I put these together, then I intend on donating these blankets to a local charity. So think about that, and maybe some of you out there would like to do that as well. Okay, let's see, my next work in progress, oh, back there in the back, as you can see behind me, that is the gift blanket that I've been working on. It is a pattern called Annie's Lace Throw, and it was originally a kit that I bought from marymaxim.com, and here is the pattern. You can see that. Anyway, and so each week I've been showing you my progress of it. So let me back up here so you can see. The first part I did was the octagon shaped. I think that was the first week that I showed you. And then last week I made the complete square. I put the corners here. And so this week I put a section on either end. Here, this section here, it's some shells, and this section over here. And so now I've got a rectangle. So now I'm going around the whole entire rectangle. So I'm into the border. And as you can see, the border will have this fan-shaped You can see it, a scalloped fan-shaped edging. So that's where I'm at there. Not a whole lot more rows to go. Well, sort of. I mean, I'm on like row 3 of the border, and I have to go to row 9, and then I have the edging, which is the scallop part, I believe. And so a little bit more to go, and of course the bigger it gets, the more stitches there are all the way around it, so that takes up a little bit more time too, of course. But I'm still enjoying it. It feels really great. The yarn that I'm using is Karen Simply Soft, and it's just turning out really, really well, I think. So that's that. And this gift blanket that I'm making is for a, as I said in the previous episode, that it is for a nurse that I had last year, that with my health issues that I had, I just wanted to do something nice for her, so I'm making this blanket to give to her. Okay. My next work in progress is the Lion Brand Down on the Farm play mat, I believe it's called. And so I've been working on that. Last week I showed you that I had finished the bottom part, you know, the mat itself, and I've been working on the pieces to attach. I've just got them pinned right now because I'm still working on the placement of them. I had the road done last week, but actually I had to take off a couple. I'm glad I didn't attach it or anything, because or even finish it off. I can now, yeah, I do have it finished off now, but I haven't stitched it because I actually had to take out, I think, a couple of rows to make sure that it would reach all the way to the edge and not go over to where the drawstring loops are. So I have that. I did the barn, and as you can see, I did the cross hatching or the cross stitching, whatever, on the doors. And I believe there's a little window up at the top that I need to stitch on, so I haven't finished that. And I've got the sun done here, right there. It's kind of large, but for this amount, size, I think, but I think it'll be okay. And then down here at this corner, I used some baby yarn to make it a little bit more, not so heavy as far as stitches, I guess you'd say, but this will be like the duck pond. And so that's what I've done on that. Now I also, though, because I was trying to figure out, I know I talked to you last week about the scale as far as the tractor and the different things that go to it, the tractor versus the size of the animals. And so I got the tractor done, and I kind of enlarged it. I used a little thicker yarn and a bigger hook to make it a little bit bigger. But I think the tractor turned out really cute. It's 2 pieces, and then he had to do 2 windows to stitch those on. And then, of course, you have the little tires with the hubcaps. So I think they turned out really cute. And I think the size is going to look pretty good with the scale. I mean, you know, it's a toy, so it's not going to be perfect. And then I also, just this morning, I started working on the duck that's going to be on the duck pond. And this one, I used some baby yarn that I had, and a very small hook, like an E hook, I think, because I wanted to make it, you know, quite a bit smaller than the tractor. I mean, still, it's like, it'd be like jumbo Duckzilla almost, but oh well. I can't worry about the scale too much, but it is smaller than the tractor, so that's good. I don't have his face, the face obviously yet, or the wings done, but that is the body, and see, I haven't even fastened off yet, so still working on that. And then, so I have that. I have a pig to do, and a sheep, and oh, and I'm going to work on a cow, kind of like it's like a cow applique pattern that I found that I want to put like inside the barn, so when you open the door of the barn, the cow would be there, you know, just stitched on, but it's something in the background. And so I have a few more little things I want to do. And oh, and also at the top, let me show you a picture of it. I have it right here. Yeah. Well, there you go. See? So, if you see the top, let me try to bring it up here. The top right there is like a patch of, I don't know, some type of crop, grass or something that the sheep is sitting in, I guess you say. I don't know if it's clear or not, but it called for some green eyelash yarn, and I don't have any of that, because when it was like real popular, I never got into much of the novelty yarn, and so I didn't have anything like that in my stash. But I looked when I went to Joann's today, and I looked at the yarn, of course, and I was looking at to see if I could find some of that eyelash yarn that I could use for that grassy area, and they didn't have anything like that. So, I mean, the only thing they had that was this novelty yarn was the Red Heart Scrubby, I think, and it's like really scratchy, and I didn't want to use that for this, of course. So what I thought about doing is, I saw that some people were using like a loop stitch type patch that they were putting in that area, and so Happy Berry Crochet here on YouTube, she made a blanket size of this play mat that had road and really cute little cars that she made, and you know, a little vegetable patch and different things. And she did have this one grassy patch, a few grassy squares, I guess you'd say. And I may look to see how she did hers. I think it was a loop stitch that maybe she clipped the loops or something, maybe, I'm not sure. But I found this green variegated, you see the color. It's all these different shades of green. In fact, I think that's what it's called. No, it's called Green Tones. And I thought, well, maybe that would be kind of different. I believe it does have the green of the base color that I've used, which is, I believe, the tea leaf. But it's also have these lighter and darker pieces to it, and so I think I'm going to use this just to give it a contrast where it won't blend in, you know, with the rest of the green. So that's my plans for that. Okay, and last week I also showed you that I was going to make some pilgrims to go alongside my turkey that I made. Well, I didn't get much done on him. I still have his body done, but I did stitch on his legs. That's all I did. For some reason, I'm just not feeling it. And so I've been working on other things, and I just haven't done much more to this. But I'm going to finish him, because I do have his arms right here. And all I need to do now is make his hat and put some gold trims. It's like a buckle that I have to stitch on with gold on the belt and then on the top of the hat. And so I'm going to finish him so then my turkey will have a companion, because they probably would eat him. But it'll be more of a set, in other words. So he will not stand up, though. His little feet are just too small, so I'll have to lean him up against something. Okay, so that's my works in progress. So upcoming things. Since we finished the Halloween, the hospital NICU Halloween hat drive, the charity group that I contribute to that is local here, and there's a Facebook page as well. It's local to me because it's here in my city, but we have members in the group from all over from Facebook, but all over the states. And the name of the group is Aubrey's Angels Charity Crochet Group. I think that's what it is. I'll put a link. But anyway, so since this hat drive is done, our next drive that we're going to be participating in now toward the end of the year and past will be baby blankets, preemie size, up to newborn size, you know. So in the future episodes, I will be working on that. A few episodes back, I showed you I was working on an octagon baby blanket, so I'm going to pull that out, start working on that again, finishing that up, and then I will be working on baby blankets to see how many I can get done to donate to this charity. Among my other projects and gift giving projects, or gift projects for the holidays, of course. So that's what I'm going to be working on this next week. I've got a sewing project that I want to start and get working on. I think it's going to be super easy. I think I've already found a YouTube video showing me how to do it, but I'm going to be working on that, and I'll make sure that I show you next week when I get that done. And also, we actually had a couple of days of cooler weather just a few days ago. Of course, now it's getting hot again, because I think it was 2 days that it was cool, maybe in the 70s. That was wonderful for us. And then now it's headed back up. But I believe there's something else coming in a few days where it will be back to the 70s for a little bit. You know, that's just kind of the way it is here in Texas. We do get a little bit of cold weather, but it usually is our biggest chance to get really cold weather is like toward the end of January and in February, somewhere around there. So, I mean, it obviously does get cooler, but Texas just does not want to let go of the hot weather. I'm gotta tell you. Okay, so, but last year I started working on, it was actually a knitting project, and it's a shawl that I've been working on, and it's a pattern by Lisa Mutch, M-U-T-C-H, and the name of the shawl is Descent. And I'm sorry I didn't have prepared as far as having a picture for you. Digging out the pattern is put up right now, but I want to pull that out because last year I worked on all winter and I never finished it, and I think I only have like 9 or 10 rows, but of course if you've ever done a shawl, this is like a crescent shape shawl, even with crochet, that it started at the top and then it got bigger, you know, this way, and so the further down you go, of course, the more stitches there are to finish one row. And so, like I said, I think I've only got about 9 rows to go, but of course one row has lots of stitches because the shawl is like, I don't know if it'll get all the way to what they call my wingspan, where with my arms stretched out. I can't remember now, it's been so long since I worked on it, but I want to get it out and I want to finish it. And so I'm going to get it out and I'm going to start working on it because I really would like to be able to wear it. You know, it's going to be something nice for me to wear, like, sometimes at church I'll get cold in the building, and so I'll have something that I can kind of put over my shoulders that would look nice with my outfit or whatever. But I want to finish it. I know it's a knitting project, not crochet, but I really do want to finish it. And then also that's kind of in preparation of the yarn that I ordered last week. I told you about that I'm anxiously going to get from Germany, the cotton flowers yarn that I ordered, and I found a shawl pattern. I said last week I wanted to do the virus shawl pattern, but I found another shawl pattern that I'm anxious to do. I really think it's going to really be pretty with this yarn, and so I'll tell you more about that whenever I get my yarn. I know it's going to take a while to get it, but I'm anxiously waiting for it. So anyway, that's all I have to show you today. I'm so glad that everybody came and watched my video today. Thank you so much to my subscribers and all the nice comments. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please do. And so that way you can check up each week and see what I do and the progress that I make on my projects. As you can see, I show works in progress, and then I will also show, I always throw in extra little projects that I can do quickly and I can show you that will go along with some of my other projects that take me a little longer to do. So I always try to have a variety of things that you can make out of yarn, crochet wise. And so please subscribe and come back and see what I get done and what other projects I find to do. Well, thanks, and hope everybody has a great week this week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.